Hello there, I'm Tim and he's John, and this is How to Murder Time, a podcast about games and things.
Hello everybody.
Watcher.
It's been a while.
Time. I nearly forgot. It was like blocks or feet or time or dice or what. There's just a lot of murdering going on these days, to be honest. It's quite confusing.
I'm surprised we won't be demonetised. Twitter doesn't like murdering. I mean, YouTube doesn't like murdering. Then again, we're not monetised.
Are we like an extremist website or something?
I don't think we'd be able to have adverts anymore. If we did have adverts.
Right.
We have to survive via our Patreon, which I've been meaning to set up for the last 10 years.
Patreon, yes. Yes. I'm back. Hello.
You survived?
I survived, yes. Spoiler alert, I lived. Yes.
2 feet?
Yep, both my feet there. No
Shoes
amputations. All limbs intact. Yes, so I was basically away doing hiking last week, and then there was a week with illness and stuff, but not me. I was fine. But yes, I did 87 miles in 6 days.
Was that wise?
On my feet. It was all right. I went into it thinking, all right, we'll give it a go. And I've been doing a bit of, the occasional Sunday hiking leading up to every couple of weeks. And I'm thinking, am I up for this? Is this quite big? Because, sort of pushing off into the deep water and a bit scared about... can I even do this?
Yeah.
The program I'd set myself, which essentially is 7 one-week hikes over the next 8 years or so. 8 one-week hikes. I've done one already. That's why it's 7 years.
Wow.
And I thought, let's just do it then. Let's go. And I thought, I got all sorts of contingency plans. If it all goes wrong, I can bail 2 days in and get a bus from whatever little village I'm at back to civilization, and then try come back and do the rest of it another time. But no, I just kept going, and I found myself sort of overstretching. You know how I get in this zone when I'm hiking. I sort of kind of forget to stop sometimes.
Yes.
Which is a bit of a problem, but that sort of served me well, really, because my original 7-day itinerary was condensed down to 6 in the end. I finished a day early because I was just pushing a bit further and further each day, and that all added up to a free day.
What did you do with your free day?
I just came home early. So I got because there's a whole day travelling about each way as well. I mean, I've managed to save the whole day on the original plan, which was sort of Saturday through to the following Sunday. I managed to save a day by just spending half a day travelling up and then hiking straight away. So it's like lunchtime in my head. Right, let's go, and we're off. And my God, it's up and down. If you like stairs, this is not the holiday for you.
Oh, is it lots of stairs?
Apparently, it's a bit up and down. Yeah. Well, the last 2 days were okay because that was all river estuary stuff.
Oh, they tend not to be up and down.
Yeah, quite flat.
Or if they do lots of down, then you get nice photo opportunities.
No thundering waterfalls or anything, no. But then the flatter terrain meant that I could get a bit further each day. It absolutely pissed down on the last 2 days, but I was all right. I had my rucksack, all with my waterproofs and stuff. I knew I was going to get rained on, so all my stuff was in bags and things, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like horrendous storms. It was just drizzle, steady rain, and you just keep on walking. Really, lose yourself in the zone. But it was fantastic. Mostly the weather was great. I got some great video. I'm sure there'll be some kind of how to murder feet.
I'm not entirely sure if I can get this one down below an hour. I'm striving to keep them below 10 minutes each.
I dumped about 30 gigs worth of files on you.
Last one was an hour 10.
Okay. Oh, the Snowden one's up, isn't it? Yes, I shall have to go and watch that back. Although, to be honest, I was there, so less of a pressing
I don't know. This is a lot more man going mad talking to sheep than you probably remember.
It might be so. Actually, it's one of the reasons I do take so much video of these little trips. It's just that when I look back in about 5 years' time, I can go, "Oh God, I really said all those things." Yeah. So if you want to see what I get like when I'm left utterly alone for a week in the wilds, watch this space.
Yeah,
but very good.
I put the back bars over where you don't wear any clothes because you've given up on clothes because they're just
throwing it all to the winds.
They're just the conceit of the modern world.
Literally going native. Yeah. No, it was very. I can't say I found myself particularly because that kind of thing's stupid and nonsense.
And you were there.
I was there. Yeah, I took myself with me right from the word go. So there we go. But it was a really good week, and I'm raring to go for the next one. I finished it without any major injuries, so I'm putting that down as a success.
Huzzah!
I'm probably going to wait until spring now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because it's end of September, beginning of October as we record this, and I've just got back 2 weeks ago. So
it is October.
This is probably as late in the year as I'd want to do this kind of thing. I'm not into the midwinter ultra survival nonsense.
You were really rolling a die with going when you did, because it was either going to be really sunny or sort of a bit wet.
Well, I assumed it'd be you often get a bit of a late summer thing going on in September, and even if it does rain, it's not going to be cold, biting, stinging rain.
I found out why the weather went bad though.
Oh?
A friend of ours bought new garden furniture the other week,
right,
and that's when the weather broke. It is her fault.
I should have to check with that in future then. Yeah, so probably May. I'm thinking mid-May, early May. We'll have a look at the weather, see what happens, and then we'll get back on the train, get back out there. So I basically went from Minehead to Westward Ho, which is 87 miles.
Which is the real place.
Westward Ho! Exclamation mark.
Yeah, only place very in the important. UK with an exclamation mark.
And I've been there, and frankly, it's not really worthy of exclamation, to be honest.
Isn't it also the only place named after a book?
Yes, it's some literary reference or another.
Because the...
Yeah, not like Jamaica Inn, which is the other way around. Anyway, so...
And Noddy Goes to Toyland, which...
Noddy Goes to Toyland, which is not a real place. No. So I need to basically,
Toyland is real.
When I get round to May again, I'll go get back on the train, get out there, and then do the next week, which will take me from Westward Ho down the coast to Padstow, past Boscastle, Tintagel, all that sort of thing.
Okay, Tintagel's lovely.
Yeah,
I really like
it's according to the guide website, it's the most gruelling and demanding week of the entire expedition.
I can imagine that.
So a lot of up and down, a lot of cliffs and stuff, and you can see me wheezing and cursing at that kind of thing on the video.
The two things I can say: spend some time in Tintagel because it's really nice and there's nice stuff to look at. And when you get to Padstow, buy fish and chips. Yeah,
well, Padstow will be the finishing point, so I shall probably treat myself to some kind of civilised B&B and food, that kind of thing. But so basically, wait for the spring, and we'll get there and do it again. I'm gonna do 2 next year. I've decided 2 weeks because it's 8 weeks in total. I've done 1 now, but I need to get it all done before I'm 50, which is 2025, I think. Yes. It will be. So
you're old.
I know, I'm quite old.
You are.
I'm 42, so I've got 8 years.
Damn, as old as you.
8 years to go. And if I get 1 week a year, I can do it. But I want to try and get it done quicker than that. And I'm really enjoying it as well. I'm already getting a bit antsy. I can see myself just going off.
Do more than 2. I reckon you do 3.
Well, you only get so much time off work in a year, and I need to keep a few weeks back for just sitting around at home watching Homes Under the Hammer for a week, which is quite important to me. So that was good. I'm very pleased with all that, and it worked well. So, and here I am back in my normal life again, playing computer games and stuff.
Is it a big bit of disappointment?
A little bit, yeah. I was actually finding, I found myself actually starting to, when you do something repeatedly for a week, you start to sort of forget what your old life was like. Well, I do anyway. And I was starting to think, I could just do this. I could just keep going. Because I got to Westward Ho and I was fine, a night's sleep, and I'd be ready for another 12 to 15 miles the next day. I could have just kept going, to be honest. But
if you're doing it in a reasonable pace, I don't think you get to a point where you do get hurt. You're stable, and then you could probably keep going on.
Well, it's something I kept going on about on the video. There's the distinction between aching and injury. And I ached, I got tired, but night's sleep and up we go next morning. And I found myself hardening to it and getting longer distances each day as well. So I was actually getting better at it as I went along, which is good.
I think it was doing lots of marathons. What's his name?
Eddie Izzard.
He was saying that the first one's hard, the second one's quite hard, but by the third one it's not as hard.
He famously did about 80 marathons back to back or something insane like that. It was like double digits of marathons in a row, which you think would just be insane or physically beyond the bounds of a human being, but no, you did it. And as you say, you getting used to it. The body was hardening. My legs, you can feel my amazing thighs there. They're like steel cables now. It's fantastic.
Pass.
Yeah, it's fine. But I could keep going.
It's designed for long distance locomotion,
and it's not that long distance, to be honest. The itinerary is about 12 to 15 miles a day on average, but the terrain is a factor. There's a lot of up and down, which Google Maps doesn't seem to factor in. So, so I was taking longer than it said on there. But
is it worse than that bit with the stairs near Swanage?
There was a couple of bits it's like that most of the way around, to be honest.
That nearly killed me.
Yeah, I had to stop, a couple of times up some of the slopes just to stand there and wheeze and, smile embarrassedly at passers-by, try and convince them I'm not having a heart attack and don't need help, thank you.
Old ladies walking their dogs, jogging up.
But that was getting easier as well. And the backpack was heavy. That was 14 kilograms, the backpack with all my tent and sleeping bag and everything. Did you consider not taking
those 14 kilograms of weights with
Well, I could potentially really cut that back, because I saw perhaps 2 other people in the entire week who looked as kitted down as I was. Everyone else had just day bags and anoraks and trainers on.
Yeah.
And these people, if they're doing the entire thing, which I think hardly any of them were, but they're probably just being it all the way around, which you can do, and the guide website recommends, to be honest. So, but no, I thought, that gives me the flexibility. If I fetch up somewhere where there isn't a town or a village, I can just camp out. Yeah, I did a bit of ninja camping.
Yeah,
so it's quite good. But yes,
ninja mind.
It was a fine week. I'm looking forward to the next one. So I'm going to talk about the game.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been back, played a few games. We're playing Elite Dangerous still on the Tuesdays. Thargoids, yes, exciting time. I haven't seen any yet. We did so a couple of weeks back we went to one of the Thargoid bases.
Yeah.
Massive flower thing in the.
I think that was a couple of months ago now. But
Well, quite a while ago. You might have seen some video of that one.
There's probably some of that video showing now.
And we were, because I didn't really get any footage. But
we're a little light on footage for this show.
So basically we were driving around in the little SRVs through these tunnels and feeding weird alien objects into weird alien machinery, monkeying around with the works like you do, massive laser blasts, etc. So those are a thing. People had been being hyper-addicted quite a lot for going quite far back now, probably a year or so.
Yeah.
Just occasional random people getting pulled out of frame shift into stellar travel and being scanned by a giant flower-shaped spaceship.
It happens.
And then just let to go on their way, no interaction, no explanation, nothing, and that's all been very sort of portentous. It's like it has that feel of early season 1 Babylon 5. Getting that build up to the main story. The main story not started going yet, but every so often you'll get some hints in between the one-off episode stuff.
There might be a big bad guy in the background.
Yeah. And there's
guy wandering around asking, "What do you want?"
It's got that kind of feel to it. I don't know. And of course,
really rubbish episodes about mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
It's a really bad episode.
There's these things called Guardians as well, and I don't know anything about these because we haven't really gone and had a look. But apparently, as well as the Thargoid bases, there are some other sorts of bases, other sorts of ruins.
Well,
this is it. I think you put your finger on it. I'm starting to get this vibe because there's the Guardians who are different and distinct to Thargoids.
So are these by any chance two alien races who have been around?
Two big precursor races.
Precursor races since before humanity had risen.
Yeah,
and they had a big war before, maybe.
Yeah,
and they're trying to shape humanity. Using their different rules. So.
Do they personify two ideological extremes? It could be. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I'm just speculating wildly. Everyone is speculating wildly. Yeah. It has that nature, that feel to it. And I suppose that's one of the benefits of it being a sort of pseudo MMO rather than just a straight single player play through the story, make your Paragon Renegade choice at the end, go off and play something else. Is that you get this really widespread community sort of engagement in work, trying to brainstorm crowdsource what's going to happen next. This Canon Interstellar group is a particularly notable player group. I think they were given their own starbase recently, and it's actually, I don't know, I could be completely wrong on all this. I don't do nearly enough research as regular viewers will know, but I think they were given their own large-scale interstellar platform starbase ship type thing that can jump between. You can dock up on it, and then it jumps between systems.
Oh, handy.
Or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know the details. I remember seeing some chatter about that on Twitter, but not really understanding what's going on. I'm terrible. Go and do your own research. You're all clever people. But yes, so now we got the big 2.4, 2.5, something like that. It is the big Thargoid invasion thing. We had a massive patch during the week and couldn't play because I couldn't play. It took me 5 hours to patch. But I think it could just be my internet connection or something, because obviously they're disputing the patch, massive peer-to-peer sharing thing, and sometimes I get the wrong end of the stick on that, packet shaping, whatever. Anyway, so there's big things afoot, big Thargoid battles. Apparently there are lots of community goals in there where you have to go off and get bits of Thargoid technology or explosives and give them to certain of the engineers, and they will then, if that goal's complete, they will then make available anti-Thargoid weaponry.
Oh, okay.
So we're starting to fight back now, Yeah. I don't know that I've necessarily heard...
trailer thing.
Well, that's it. It's all cutscenes and trailers and rumours and news and websites. I'm not sure if I've seen or heard of personal accounts of anyone being walloped by Thargoids personally and being killed.
At the stage where I can deliberately trigger witch space incursion thingies so I can farm them.
Can you farm Thargoids yet?
Like I used to back in the day on Plus on the PC.
There was something you could do. You held down, fired your military laser whilst hyperspacing or something that forced it to happen. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not sure really how you go. I mean, I think I've seen articles on various gaming sites suggesting how you go about finding the Thargoids. It's all going off in the Pleiades, so it's in a way that's sensible.
That's literally miles away.
It's 300 light years away from the core systems in Elite Dangerous, and in a reasonable kitted ship, you can get there in about half an hour to an hour. So it's not.
Oh, I went.
It's not like miles and miles away.
I've been, haven't I?
Yeah. I think you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. It was only about 10 jumps.
Yeah. It's like I say, it's the next neighbourhood over rather than the other side of the galaxy. Spend an entire weekend travelling in a specially kitted out explorer
I was
ship.
never entirely sure. if we should have been able to get there with distances between stars.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure the Pleiades are where they are in real life in there. They've gone to quite great lengths throughout the game to make sure that all the stars are roughly where they should be, that kind of thing. So, but yes, so you go over there and then you, I don't know, do some stuff, and you might get interfered with by a giant sunflower. So go figure.
Come to hope.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, presumably, the next act after this is some kind of counter move by these Guardian people. But then I don't know if the Guardians are extinct race or they're still there. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, frankly.
They went beyond the rim.
Not a lot of it actually has much of an impact on me personally, I have to say. But it's just interesting and heartening to know it's going on. You know? It's like the giant Empire Wars in EVE, I mean, a surprisingly small proportion of the player base will actually have hands-on experience with that kind of stuff, but knowing it's there, knowing it's happening, gives you a greater sense of place, a greater sense of happening, in a game, even though if you're just going to launch and mine some asteroids, you think, well, at least there are great things going on. And the same happens, same sort of, I forget, the same sort of feel with Elite Dangerous as well. So I got my Diamondback Explorer and I'm having a real ambition problem. I just can't be bothered. I don't know, I just don't want a bigger ship. Well, there's a Federation Corvette thing, there's Anacondas, obviously, there's an Imperial thing as well. Python's apparently well-regarded ship. I mean, for almost every task in that game, there is a better ship than the one I'm in that I should be probably grinding out and saving towards. I mean, for exploration, the Asp Explorer is probably the best ship. But I just like the Diamondback Explorer because I don't think many other ships. Well, for starters, nice, comfortable rebuy. I can only afford to rebuy my ship 99 times at the moment. I need to crack on and grind some more credits. But also, it's capable. It's capable at pretty much everything I want to do it for. It's not great for cargo, but pretty much everything else. The fighting, it's fairly competent at. The exploring, it's very good at, especially with the engineered drive and everything. It can really shift across. It's like the second best. It's the second best in a lot of different categories. Yeah, and
it's second best in more categories than other things are first best at.
Yes, I think so. If I'd have to specialise or go for something stupidly big that can do everything very well, but will have 6 weeks worth of grinding to replace if I lose it. It's always the don't fly what you can't afford to lose. And I'm a very casual Elite Dangerous player. I dip in weekly. Sometimes I'll have the occasional session on my own as well. But, for the time and effort I'm prepared to put into the game, then the Diamondback Explorer absolutely ticks all the boxes. So I'm quite content with it. I mean, I'm more focused on improving it through the Engineers system, which is the sort of mid-game PvE quest content, as it were. You have various different requirements to unlock to each of these engineers. You can then drive the tolerances and stats of your basic equipment further than they were before, which is good. So you can make you can specialise your Diamondback Explorer, for example, to become even better at jumping or even better at combat or whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm sort of tinkering around with that. But yeah, I just don't really have anything big to spend any more money on. So money's ceased to become an objective for me. I spend more on bribe missions to improve faction than anything else. Just to get access to the various engineers and stuff. But it suits me well. It suits me so much that I've even gone and bought a paint job and some engine trails and some coloured lasers for it.
I bought purple lasers.
I got yellow lasers, I got cyan engine trails, and green paint job. That's quite a tasteful thing zipping around there. But yeah, the Diamondback Explorer particularly has only a couple of paint jobs. I mean, if I was interested in a Cobra Mark III, my God, have they got stuff for you there? Yeah. There's spiky radar modifications with bits sticking out of it. There's engine trails. I think the recent thing they've added is Lumifiber, the sort of glowing Tron lines effect for the ships, and there's a couple of different patterns of that. If you like Cobra Mark III, they've got stuff to sell here. But if you like the Diamondback Explorer like I do, you can buy paint. There's only 3 paint job packs for that. It's like whatever. Mind you, I was playing around with the exterior flight cam that they've added, the improved one, very powerful, once you bound all the keys up and stuff. And I noticed that the Diamondback Explorer's got a flap on the back at the top that opens when it's hot, when the heat goes up, and you can see glowing elements inside it. And it closes when the thing cools down. When you're flying, it's very cool. I was just heating up, flying to the sun, going away from the sun, going to the sun, watching it go up.
How does opening a flap let the heat out?
I don't know. It's space, isn't it?
Yeah, where's it radiating to?
Why not just put those on the outside? Anyway, no, space in vacuum you can radiate heat, but you can't convect or conduct heat. That's the thing. So yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Basic advanced thermodynamics. Too early on a Sunday for that.
Your ship needs to be painted gold.
Gold.
Gold leaf.
I don't think they had gold. They had a bunch of flat. Sort of, there are 3 different packs. One's like a military muted camouflage colour, camouflage in space. Yeah,
camouflage in space.
Yeah, green camouflage and desert camouflage. I suppose if you're landing somewhere, it might be useful. But then they got like a kind of just boring metallic type colours, and then they got the vibrant Chris Foss pack, and I thought, those are the ones. Yeah,
definitely.
Just massive primaries and big yellows and stuff. I thought, we'll have that. That's good. And that was only £3. And it was like £1 for the engine trails, and I think I can use those on any ship I like, and £1 for the weapons as well. I can use those on any ship I like.
For my purple lasers, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, I know. You can sort of get all principled about free to play, about cash shoppery, about this far and no further. Later. But at the end of the day, I spend far more than that on crisps in an hour. Yeah. So all right, whatever. And it does look good as well, especially on the group nights when we're out and about. It
helps on the group nights because you can identify.
You can definitely spot Commander Embryo coming. It's like red lasers, green fly. No, I think that's red engines. Oh, it's just massive yellow Chris Foss spaceship and everything. And also he quite enjoys the close flyby for dramatic effect. And he gets it wrong like one time in 3. So slam, whoop, whoop, proximity. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So. But no, we're doing the group nights on the Tuesdays. I think we largely just concern ourselves with the community goals because they seem to come in the right kind of sized adventure for the time and the effort we want to put in. We'll turn up on a Tuesday and see what's going on. Oh, look, here we are. Here's a fighty one. Go to system. Blah blah blah. Sign up with this station. Go and kill pirates and bring back bounty tickets. That sort of thing. And those give you a nice boost. That's probably why I've got quite so much cash that's unspent, is because they do pay very well, the community goals, if you get involved. As long as you get into the top 75% participation, which really doesn't take a lot away, you can easily do that in an evening. Yeah. You get a decent payout.
I need to play it again.
Usually get like 5 or 6 million for one of those.
Yeah, I think
plus bounties that you actually hand in too. So, and that's easy enough to keep the casual player in the manner to which they become accustomed. So it's really not that. I mean, people complain about it being a massive grind, but I suppose that's only if you're really obsessed with a grade Anaconda with full trimmings and engineering. Then that very top end is the biggest thing the game has to sell you. So it's going to take time. But if you keep your expectations modest, like I've basically done with my Diamondback Explorer, then you just log in and enjoy yourself. Really, not worry about money. It'd be interesting to see how the Thargoids impacts me and my gameplay, but
not at all.
Well, I don't know, unless the Thargoid invasion becomes a hugely widespread. I think they've quite wisely kept the Thargoid stuff relatively localised to one part of space. So if you're not interested and don't want to get involved, or you don't want to be messed around with every time you leave the starbase, it's probably not going to happen to you. But like I say, they might step it up to the point where every station's under lockdown or whole stations start going missing. Yeah. It depends how brutal and narrative you want to be about it. It's a fine line. I think you want to keep your story interesting and relevant to all your players, but at the same time, you don't want that story to be so overwhelming. It's like the sort of overdoing it as a D&D GM. How much story do you put in, and how much freedom do you let your players have to do what they want to do?
Well, you guarantee you put more story in than the players will actually do, because all players are arses and will run off and do their own thing. They will not stick to the plot. They won't do what they're supposed to.
They'll stick to the plot if the plot is the most interesting thing you've given them to do. But it depends how contrary players are. But the point being is that you don't want to be that hugely obsessive GM who's. I remember almost tangentially, I was reminiscing and hunting around for the old Dragonlance.
Oh yeah,
the D&D 2nd edition D&D Dragonlance modules. I found a whole load of them as PDFs online. I was reading through some of them with my newfound appreciation as an actual Pathfinder GM, and the Dragonlance campaign, as told in the modules, is horrifically prescriptive.
Yeah.
I mean, not just, here are your characters and here is the story. It's almost down to an encounter-by-encounter level. The entire of the first encounter module is basically a whole load of GM sticks that beat the players unless they go in the direction the story is it wants them to go. It is essentially the whole Dragonlance campaign as a D&D set of modules is not so much a campaign as a play. It is a play that is active acted out by people who should know the script. Anyway, getting back to Elite Dangerous, I'm hoping that that's not the line they're going to take. Look, our Thargoids are important. We've put in a lot of work here. You are going to enjoy them, and just drop them on the entire known space. I think there should be places where people can just get on with whatever they're doing and not be involved if they don't want to be. Become a sort of opt-in thing, but then how much of a menace is that if it's all just going on in the Pleiades and you can totally ignore it? How realistic? It's going to be interesting to see where they go with it and what happens, and also interesting to see how much of it touches my own personal gaming, which is quite casual, not terribly involved, and I don't go out of my way seeking this stuff out.
I think I can give you a proper answer for that.
Yeah,
very little.
Yeah, maybe. I think I'll have to go and look for it if I want to see it. So, which we might do. I mean, we have gone out of our way on some Tuesday sessions to go and see these Thargoid bases. I want to see a Guardian base next. I don't know nothing about this other lot. That'd be the interesting thing, because I've got a feeling they're probably it's like you say, I hope it's not just going to be the Vorlons and Shadows, but you never. It's almost a sort of narrative inevitability that these Guardians will spring up as the opposition at some point. I don't know. We'll see.
It's like having a couple of wizards in a fantasy thing.
Yeah, 2 wizards. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, still enjoying it, surprisingly. I thought we'd have burnt out of it by now. I thought we'd have gotten a bit bored with it. I quite like the idea of an eagle wing again. We were doing that briefly quite a while back, but get some eagles, which is essentially the one step above the newbie ship with the fighter specialisation, and just trick them out as engineer them as crazy as we can. Now we've got all the engineers unlocked, and then just try some proper formation flying, Red Arrows style, and try combat sites with them, see how we go with all the paint and the trails and everything.
Badly,
red, white, and blue trails. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I think that'd be hugely cinematic. It's
fine up until the first laser hits one of you. And you just disappear.
Well, that's the downside. I mean, they wouldn't bother putting in things like anacondas and vultures and things if the eagle was enough to do the job for the whole game.
But it's like that thing. 20 small ships are more effective than one big thing. But 20 big things are more effective than 20 small things.
Yes. Yeah, if I had a criticism with Elite Dangerous, it's that the ships, to me, I'm not an expert, but to me it seems like bigger is always better. Yeah. There's not really much of, particularly since the very larger ships, the anacondas and whatever, have fighter bays. Yeah. So, you can launch a couple of drone fighters as well. Or even have people piloting those with the multi-crew stuff. So, yeah, it purely becomes a cash versus effectiveness sort of equation, and the eagle is at the very bottom of it. But you'd be surprised on some of the fighting nights how much we can do with how little we can get away with. I mean, a couple of people would sort of parking their vultures and coming back in like haulers and adders and things, and seeing if we could seeing if we could take down anacondas, NPC anacondas like that. And surprisingly, we could. At one point, my Diamondback Explorer was the biggest ship in our group.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, and so and we were still managing to take down, pythons and anacondas and things. So it becomes about, what can we get done with as little? Yeah. It's the efficiency of it appeals to me. We don't need anacondas. Look, we're at eagles and we're still killing everything. So we'll see. But yes, enjoying Elite Dangerous in a sort of casual, not burning myself out kind of way. I'm not obsessing about it, but it is still interesting enough to keep me going week out. It's good. Why don't you talk for a bit?
I'm going to talk about Forza Motorsport 7.
7. Gosh, that's quite a large sequel number.
Yes. This is the annual I'm playing a new Forza game thing. This time, it being one of the other years, it's the boring original game.
Oh.
So it's just the hero cars, hero tracks, drive round it. And there's not enough stupid DJs on radios as you completely turn a country into a playground and drive around doing stupid things.
So what you're talking about, the Forza Horizon?
Yeah, which is a much better game.
It's just a bit more closer to Burnout Paradise, go places, do stuff.
Yeah. And it has a large open world to drive around in. This is
more of a vanilla format, a series of events.
Here is a series of events, race them.
Okay. Is there not something to be said for the technical purity of that kind of form?
There definitely is. It's just, the problem with that is everyone does it and everyone has done it, and nothing that does that feels new, whether it's Project Cars or whatever. I haven't played the demo
Project Cars 2 on Steam.
Yeah, Project Cars 2 is
lately
coming out very soon, or is out now, that's the new pretender to the throne.
Okay.
Also, you've got Gran Turismo, of course. There's a new one of them either due out very soon, apparently. I think.
So lots of people cranking out the next instalment.
Yeah, but they're all just iterations on the same thing. Now, what Forza does differently this time is transitions.
Okay.
They're really proud of their transitions. Races can start dry and go wet, or they can start wet and go dry, or they can start dark and go light, or they can start light and go dark. And do you know what I've discovered so far? I'm on to the third championship now. What I've discovered so far is every race is now starting in the rain in the dark and gets drier in the sunrise.
So it's like they're very proud of their mechanic and they overuse it ridiculously.
So proud. Or it starts light and gets dark and just so tedious.
So you find yourself only ever racing at dawn and dusk?
Yeah.
Or is it clouds and things? Is it?
There's clouds as well.
Okay.
Thunderstorms. There was racing in a thunderstorm in a big truck.
Okay.
Like, a big semi without the back.
There's no chance of pulling over and putting the slicks on or something.
Tell you what, my usual driving style is just
I've seen your
I'm going for it.
Yeah. It's very kinetic.
We're in a large Mercedes truck.
The crash barrier is not going to help.
Those gaps.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Also, you hit the barriers, which is just a bunch of tyres staked to the ground, and you should go through it. You really should. The barrier, you should be going through it. The stands, you should be going through it, but you're not.
You're just scraping your way around like usual in a massive articulated. Okay.
You've got however many tons of really powerful.
Inertia is a harsh
enough
mistress.
torque on here to be able to pull.
Yeah.
And it's a racing.
And
engine
you're on light Brands Hatch and just scraping long tyre walls. Yeah.
It's got interesting new tracks. It's Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
They've now got the street circuit, which is driving around the roads around the track as well. So you end up out in the desert with sand on the track.
Okay.
And,
So it seems to be a genre that's focusing on details and refinements and niceties rather than startling new gameplay styles.
What they have done, when 5 came out, which I've also been replaying 5 because it came up on Games for Gold, and so I just thought, I should really go through. I never really finished that.
Yeah.
5 was the one that launched with the Xbox One. And that launched with the ability to pay money for cars, which we'll get back to, and also a really zero effort on any of the actual, this is the campaign, it's just, here's a list of events, do them effectively.
Okay, yeah.
So you pick it, and then you have 10 events to do on 10 tracks.
Yeah.
And so it'd be, and this is the Silverstone race, this is the Bernese Alps race, this is the
It all sounds quite familiar.
Laguna Seca Mazda Speedway race. And it just really felt really quite... just
phoned in.
Yeah, you just
Maybe there was plans for a massive campaign thing and they ran out of time.
Whatever different car you were in didn't matter really because it was just the same. This feels a lot better because there's 5 or 6 different championships, and in those championships you get to pick the events you want to do, and in them there's 3 or more showcase events.
Okay.
So that might be around the Top Gear track, knocking over bowling balls as you go around the track.
A bit of variety.
Staples like that.
Yeah.
Or, as I accidentally did,
Yeah.
it might be in an endurance car.
Yeah.
No warning apart from that it was an endurance car. Going around Spa. Nice track. I really like Spa.
Okay.
Nice technical track. Speed, brilliant. Eau Rouge, brilliant. I got that corner right a couple of times. That one lasted an hour.
Oh.
No warning at the start. This is going to last you an hour.
Okay.
It's just, it's going to be 23 laps. Okay.
Wow.
My hand was hurting at the end.
That's the longest racing game you've ever done on a single track. Is there the equivalent of the Le Mans 24-hour?
They used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
I think one of the Forzas did, or one of the others, actual 24-hour race.
Oh. You just have to do it. I suppose.
You switch out to an AI driver and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, an hour. Actually, I've done more than an hour. I've done an hour and a half. But the really long races have gone out of fashion. Back in the Forza 2, Forza 3 time, by the time you got to the end, it was all, do 6 laps of Nürburgring, which is 10 minutes each for each lap.
Oh, the proper massive ring. Yeah.
Yeah, the horrible one, which... really technical track.
Because there's a small section of that that's actually a race course.
Oh, there's a massive race course in the middle.
Oh, right.
Which is a world-class Formula 1 compatible
But then
track.
the actual Nürburgring itself is this...
you've got the public road around the edge, which is the old Formula 1 track. And, with its trees and death thing. And guy I work with...
You can just turn up there and pay and have a go on that, can't you?
You can.
In any old car.
Guy I work did it on a bike.
Oh, right.
He had to pay for the barrier damage and broke his leg.
Wow.
Yeah. Not recommended. Yeah. So it's good. They've managed to make it feel a bit more of a coherent campaign-y type thing. You start off as a rookie. Mm-hmm. New option, you can be a girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Progressive.
How did it take 7 games?
What are we missing? I don't know. Oh, well.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
1 model.
Yes.
7 games, 1 model.
Yeah, because you're probably just like the Stig-like bloke in a helmet anyway,
yes,
aren't you? Yeah.
You are.
Just add another model. There we go, done. Wow.
Or take the existing model and tweak it slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's taken 7 games. So it's there now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So there we go. We've now smashed that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Equality for all.
It solved the problem of women in racing now, and Formula 1's going to be full of women now.
Anyway.
And you start off at the bottom and you work your way up through all of the things.
Do you earn money to buy cars?
Yeah, you earn money to buy cars. The mod system's in still, which is basically cards you have, which you play. 3 of them before you do a race. And I'll say this: if I do this, I get 40% extra credits, or if I do this, I get 20% extra experience. That kind of thing.
That sounds like an interesting way to mix things up a bit.
Yeah, so it gives you. I can see the reasoning for putting it in. It's encouraging you to do things like, I'm going to run without ABS brakes.
Yeah.
I'm going to use proper braking. Or I'm going to use manual gears because it'll get me a massive bonus for this.
Yeah,
but
just to encourage gamers to explore alternative ways of playing.
Yeah, the entire game does quite push you to say, you're winning these a bit easily. Maybe you should put the difficulty up a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's very... The way these work is, some cars you're going to come in... I mean, on that hour-long race, I almost lapped everyone.
Wow.
I was working my way through the pack and I was halfway through on lapping them, which on Spa is not a large track. But on others, the cars are a lot harder to drive, and something like a early 70s Formula 1 car in the wet, I'm not putting ahead on that because it is really hard to drive.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem of the game with the difficulty. There's no way of it automatically balancing so that, okay, so this is too easy, so I know to pull this down, but this is not going to be too easy, so don't make this really hard, which is really annoying.
I don't know, there's something to be said for consistent difficulty, because you can choose the sort of experience you're in the mood for, though, doesn't it?
You can't make a consistent difficulty if every 5 races or 6 races you're switching car.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Okay. And you may pick, I'm going to do this one in a Volkswagen Beetle.
I'd rather the sort of consistently applied thing than the sort of behind the scenes chicanery, things like rubber banding just to keep you on your toes.
It doesn't
that sort
seem
of
to do that at all.
Yeah,
I've seen. I'm not sure it has for a while.
At least then I'm in control, and if I'm honest with myself and I'm finding it too easy, I can take steps. Whereas if I'm, the whole sort of oblivion problem where the monsters are always slightly hard, everything's always slightly more difficult all the time forever. Then you think,
it might be doing it behind the scenes.
I don't know.
Yeah, there is an elephant in the room.
Is there?
Yes. It is a game released in 2017.
Yes.
What do you think it has?
Achievements?
Of course it has achievements.
Yeah. Does it have Day 1 DLC?
It's got Day 1 DLC, yes.
Okay.
There's 2 ticks. What else?
Oh, is there some sort of buy cars from a store for real money?
I imagine that will be there when the marketplace goes live on Tuesday. But yeah, what else?
I don't know. Go on.
Lockboxes.
Lockboxes. See,
Yeah. At the time of recording, you can only buy them for in-game cash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that when the marketplace goes live, that will change. And in these lockboxes, this is where you get your mods.
Yeah.
So you open it and you get a bunch of mods, and you pick the mod you want. Or you might get a new race suit. So it'll be slightly greyer, or slightly pinker, or slightly greener, with different logos. Or you might get a car.
All right.
Or you might get cash. Yeah, it's just why.
Yeah. Well, the lockbox is fundamentally it's a scratch card, isn't it? It's a way of monetizing probability in a way that lets you sell a quarter of a thing to someone.
Yeah.
Functionally, if you're
selling the promise of maybe a something.
Well, you break it down. Star Trek Online, the example I remember, because there was a lot of research by the players, all collated probabilities on forums and stuff, and I remember finding that it was a 1 in 325 chance of getting the super duper spaceship. So essentially, you're selling if all probability is equal, and that's assuming lockboxes are actually fair.
Yes.
Which is a whole nother matter. You're selling a 325th of a thing for $10 or however much your key costs, $1.50.
Oh, these don't use keys. You just open them, but you can buy more boxes.
Yeah, but that's a mechanism, isn't it?
That is a subtle mechanism.
That can
which
be
does not make it
retooled.
better.
That can be retooled for dollar spending very easily, I imagine.
Yeah, you just make it so you buy the boxes.
You buy the currency or buy the boxes.
Also,
or
I got a bunch. With FordMotorsport.net, there is the My Forza bit, which basically ranks you against all your friends who also play it and have signed up, or just play it, and it gives you free cash. When 5 released, because of the big fuss about
be our advertising shill and sell this game to all your friends, and we'll give you some points.
Really. No, the social thing is completely by the by. When 5 went a bit south with the whole you can pay real money to get a car, and it was something 150 quid to get the Lotus F1 car of the time, and you could
money on the table.
So they released this site, which means it looks at the history of all your Forza games. And it does things like how many days played on each game, how many achievements you have, your perfect passes, or whatever it is the criteria is for the games. And it ranks up lots of points. So as it is at the moment, I get something like 300-something thousand credits per week in each of the games. As you can imagine, when I go back to a game which has been out for a year or 4 years, I have so many credits, I don't have any money issues at all. Which is why I'm not really concerned about these loot boxes in 7? 7, yes. Because I'm ignoring them, don't give a toss about the mods. And
that's the spirit.
I've got enough cash because the game is still balanced, and every Friday I'm getting enough money to do whatever I want anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah. Well, this is it. At the end of the day, it's their job. I mean, they're not charging real money for these ones, but they could have easily been doing it, and it's their job to come up with as
by time this goes up, there will be.
Yeah. So it's their job to try and use any method they can to get money from us. That is their job. That what pays their wages.
Yes.
Their day job as a marketing person in a game company is to earn money from customers however possible. In fact, you could argue that everyone in that company's job is to earn money from us any way they can. It's one of those... our job to decide not to pay them. So, it's all fine and it all works well. You have
a lot of certain people spring to mind who are absolutely against such things because you paid a flat fee to get this game, so why is there more monetization on top?
That's a battle that's been lost a long time ago.
The answer to that is because they can get away with it,
because
and
people pay.
No one's going back. That battle is so lost. All you can do is
sort of stand on principle and deny your company like 50% of its revenue or however much it is.
Yeah, if you look at the game developer point of view, you're being irresponsible.
Yeah,
if you're not giving people who want to pay money the chance to do it.
So it's up to us to decide if we want to pay money or not. I felt I've had a lot of enjoyment from Elite Dangerous. So I thought, all right, I'll buy some paints and things. I spent about £5.
Yeah, £5.
It felt like a donation to the good work they're doing to me, and that's fine.
So I don't mind doing that.
But the point being is that I paid and I got the thing I was paying for.
Yes, is when you pay real money and you may or may
pay
not
real
get
money for the
good.
chance of getting a thing.
That is where it starts to get very sucky, and do not put money into that scam.
Well, that's not a purchase at that point. That's gambling.
It is literally gambling.
And probably ought to be illegal under various laws.
It probably will be legal when it gets noticed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So just be vigilant out there, people, and decide for yourselves what you do or don't want to pay for. It's easy. Well, I say it's easy. I mean, obviously, if you've got some kind of psychological problem or dependency, then you've got bigger issues. But
that's the problem.
And that's a bit sinister and evil, I suppose. Leveraging people who can't resist.
I wouldn't mind if it was just give me a box of let me pay for X number of in-game credits for this mod pack, for this mod, and I can buy in-game credits using real cash. I wouldn't mind.
Computer games have had internal shops since they've been adventure games. You earn gold from monsters, you buy equipment from the shopkeeper. That's nothing wrong with that.
And I don't mind being able to inject real cash in to up that number. But it's the whole I may or may this one will guarantee you a legendary thing. Oh, joy, great. Will it be a legendary mod, or will it be a legendary
We need to take
car,
much more responsibility ourselves for our own personal sense of value. And if at the end of the day you decide that these things are indeed worth the money you're paying for them, then by all means enjoy. It's up to us to decide, not them to tell us. Anyway.
So Forza, 7.
7. How long do you think they can go?
Ever.
Yeah.
Forever and
FIFA
ever.
18 I saw in Tesco's today, this week.
That's not the 18th game, though.
No. Gosh, there are a lot of year numbers. They could go forever.
Yeah.
People will keep buying it.
They will.
I just thought, like 10 FIFA games in, are you not getting a bit bored of it? I don't know.
Well,
who am I to judge?
Because it's not the same people over all of those 10 years. It's people who come and want a FIFA game. They may go away, may come back every other year or 5 years.
And there probably are innovations. Yeah.
It's like, I say that all of the racing games are the same, but there's still a market there for it because they're all subtly different, and they may have the track you want, or they may have the car you own, or whatever it is. And
yeah, but you compare that to like what? Pole position on the Spectrum or whatever, that Formula One game on the Spectrum. I mean, technology, incrementally it's difficult to see, but it is getting better.
Because my reviews never mention such pettiness as frame rates and graphics.
Oh, yeah.
Because
do you get some FPSs?
You get some FPSs, and the game does look gorgeous. When you are racing and the sun is rising...
Well, particularly with these transitions thing, how the storm effects and the weather...
Oh, it looks gorgeous. I was on Mount Panama, Bathurst, in Australia. Top of a massive mountain, playing all around. Sun rising after dark. It was gorgeous.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing, I suppose, just gets taken for granted, I suppose, nowadays. But it's astonishing comparing, like, 10 years ago, what the games were.
Well, because I'm playing 5 and 7 at the same time.
Yeah.
I need to go back and play 6 as well, a bit more. Because my insane... never quite sure he understands it's actually happening rivalry.chaos.
That's a weird passive-aggressive thing you two have got going.
No, it's on the Forza.
It's your driver tiles hate each other.
It's on the My Forza. Well, our driver tiles really do hate each other. It's on the My Forza thing on the website. It lists me against all my friends, and everyone's behind me, and he was up to something like 50 behind me when I looked, and so I had to play loads and get more. I took the eye off the ball, and he was sneaking up.
That's the problem. That's the price of success. There's always a younger, leaner person coming up behind.
I don't want to admit it to myself, but he might actually be in ahead because I didn't notice until I played for a bit.
That's terrible.
It
terrible.
Is.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's another iteration. You know exactly what you're getting when you buy it.
But it seems to do well.
You're not going to buy it if you're not completely aware what this is.
Yeah, and on that basis, does it disappoint or is it satisfying expectations?
It's really good.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool. Yeah. I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to talk about phone games. Right, because here's my combined film crew, audio sound recordist, and also entertainment system for my weird week in the wild.
Disappointingly, not drone.
Yeah.
You didn't do one drone shot with it.
I need to... just throw it. Quick, record. Oh, in the sea. I might have to look into drones for a future week. That might be fun. But yes, so
while I was editing the Snowden thing, there was the Tony Robinson thing on TV.
Yeah,
and he has drones.
Well, you're my technical department. You need to sort me out with something for next time. Anyway, so I bereft of my PC and my usual gaming rig for a week. I was passing the time on some evenings with mobile phone games.
Wow.
Now, I've had real problems with mobile phone games in the past, not being able to find anything I could stand for more than 2 seconds and uninstall.
You've got your phone as one of your hotkeys?
What, on the bottom?
Yeah.
Yes. So I can phone. I don't know.
Does that?
It came like that, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so I got 4 that I didn't hate immediately and uninstalled.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about those. So the first one is called Caves.
Okay.
You can find all of these in the Play Store or however else you get your Android-y stuffs, and probably there's iOS versions of some of them. I don't know.
Who cares?
This is all for Android. So, one called Caves, which is a roguelike. And I hate roguelikes normally because they're so dreary and procedural. But this one's really quite charming. It's got 8-bit graphics. You can choose different suits of armour and equipment and stats to go into the dungeon with, and then you basically click on tile to go there, click on monster to fight it, and click on bits of the surrounding terrain to dig them out as well.
Okay.
So there's a bit of digging there. It's not quite Minecraft or anything like that. This whole thing's 2D sprites. And you're basically just working your way down through various levels of this dungeon, finding treasure, emeralds to upgrade your powers. And the thing I like about this, which is there's an element of persistence. I don't know if this is probably how it all works nowadays anyway, but your normal rogue game, once you're not meant to win, you just keep going as far as you can and see how well you do, and then it's all gone at the end and you start again with nothing next time. But this one lets you keep your gold and your emeralds.
Quite common now.
Yeah, and you have a sort of persistent a sort of persistent upgrade purchasing thing, so that next time you go in there, you're a little bit more powerful. And I like that. I like that a lot. It sort of gives it it sort of removes that sense of futility that you normally get from your more traditional vanilla rogue type game. So yeah, that's very good. There's adverts on the menu, on the inventory screens and stuff like that. The little banner on the bottom there, you know. I don't know if they sell things, whether you can making in-app purchases to buy the emeralds and stuff. No.
Then okay. That's the better review.
And it is the thing is, I'm starting to understand the sort of the purpose and function of the mobile phone game within my gaming life. It's sat there at lunchtime in the car, just tapping away on it for a little bit, or if I'm, just waiting to nod off after a hard day's hiking in a hotel room or something.
If you're sitting there waiting for the sunrise,
or waiting for a train or something like that. It is literally don't expect. I expect from my PC entertainment in 4-hour blocks. Yeah. Whereas the mobile phone, I've learned to come to expect entertainment in 10-minute blocks, and this does work very well for that. I like it. So that's that one. What else we got? There's one here called Ramble Planet. That's a very quirky thing. As far as I can tell, it doesn't charge. There's no ads. There's no cash shop. Nothing. It's a hugely nostalgic, almost Spectrum era graphics of 8-bit. Not even sort of full color stuff. It's like it feels like the sort of 2-color attribute clash style of thing going on there.
Is the pixel ratio more Spectrum or more Commodore?
It looks a bit Spectrum-y, to be honest. And you're basically a crashed spaceship on a weird alien planet, and you have to go off exploring this planet using one of a variety of different bodies available in the spaceship. And basically you're looking for widgets. There's a list of about 70 bits of the spaceship that are hidden all around the landscape, in the scenery, or by talking to people, or by killing things. You need to kill monsters to level yourself up so you can kill better monsters. The combat is literally click on the monster. If you're powerful enough, you'll kill it. If not, it tells you to go away and come back. Right. So it's not actually combat as such. They're more just sort of adventure game puzzles. And the whole thing's got this fantastic retro charm to it all. There's a lot of weird in-game lore about the planet. You have little signs you can click on to read your stuff. You've got an inventory, some very limited sort of use thing to open thing type inventory type problems. It's just the style of it all. And I found myself amazingly captivated by it, trying to get further and further each time. It's the same map each time you play. It's not procedure or anything like that. So you get the ability to learn how to get through each puzzle. And I'm down to about the last sort of 10 parts, and some of them are quite obscure chains of things you need to do. So they've got that real old school, obviously the Spectrum era look and feel to it, and the noises and stuff, but also the sensibility, the sort of the obtuseness of some of the puzzles and the logic and stuff. That's really good. Supports load save games, so you don't have to do the whole thing in one go, obviously. So quite look like that one. Ramble Planet, look for that. I don't know what you're going to do for screenshots while I'm talking here at all. How do you even screenshot a phone? Just hold it up to the camera and
there are ways you take the video out.
So next one, Interstellar Pilot.
Okay, what's that about?
This one.
Are you a pilot?
You are a pilot who travels between the stars.
Where?
It's a surprisingly full-featured and complete freelancer style elite type plane. You're a spaceship travelling between different sectors and star bases, doing trading, doing combat.
3D or
3D, but you're locked on a flat plane.
Okay,
so you basically thumbs on the controller sideways, and you can turn the ship left and right and move faster and speed up and slow down. You've got a bunch of weapons that can fire on targets and so on. There's scanning and so on. It's surprising you can fit that much of a functional universe inside a mobile phone. You've also got the ability to buy lots of different ships and upgrade them, and as far as I can tell, I'm not that far into it myself just yet, but you can buy other ships and give them AI orders, so it almost starts to border on the X games with the trading empire type thing. It's a bit of a grind to get going with that, but then there often is. And you've got all the sort of buy low, sell high, different star bases with different prices and so on, so the trading's quite robust. The explorations, it's actually, you've only got a small star map of about 8 star systems or so. You wouldn't expect a huge thing in a mobile phone game, but each of those has quite a large bit of space, which is not all revealed to you. And you can find derelict spaceships and claim them. That's how I got my first upgrade. Found one in the middle of nowhere. There's a whole variety of different factions in there that own the different sorts of bases, and they're all fighting each other and mining and things in the sectors. And I thought, oh god, all this is going on in my phone. I'm perhaps a bit behind the times, understanding what modern phones are capable of, obviously, but I mean, I don't know what the functional equivalent of my phone is in PC terms, but probably talking mid-Pentium. Pentium era at least.
I reckon it's around the Core 2 Giro type thing.
Wow.
It's getting really up there. I often wonder exactly where we are. I got a new phone the other week, and I'm wondering where does that sit in the old computers I've owned.
Yes, yeah.
Because it is powerful.
It's surprising how far up they are. And essentially it's modern technology, modern refinements. It's just the form factor and the user interface is always the problem to be solved. But this seems to work well. The UI's a little bit cramped. I've got quite big fingers, but there's a lot of buttons to fit in the in the station interfaces and so on. But it works really well. And again, load save games. I didn't see any adverts, but I've seen they sell ship pack unlocks. So I'm guessing if you want to get to the bigger capital ships, you'll need to give them some money. But the initial thing's very well featured and free to play to begin with. I think they do a couple of different ship packs, ones like the more advanced fighters and so on, but you can get quite far in to work out if you like it or not, certainly. So that's quite good. Interstellar Pilot, not terribly imaginative name, but does what it says on the tin. Actually, a problem I think with your phone games is you've got this Play Store, or wherever you get them on the iPhone as well. Some similar type of store. iTunes, there you go. Well, is that where the apps are as well?
Effectively, yeah.
And how do you stand out? You come up with some obscure crystals of Nakabapta, or whatever, and no one has a clue. No one's going to read the paragraph, even the paragraph that summarises your game. They're just going to look at the title and the icon and scroll. So your title has to sell the entire thing. So why not just make the title of your game what it is and what it does? Well, it's probably one of the better ways to stand out.
When you look at the top apps and top games, they tend to all be by the same companies, because if you can advertise inside another popular game,
you dish out free currency for going and looking at the other games, etc., or post on Twitter that you're playing thing, get some currency, whatever. I don't like that kind of manipulation myself. So the fourth one I got, Runestone Keeper. I found this the other day. This is relatively new. This is effectively it's essentially puzzle quest type of thing, but for Minesweeper.
Yeah.
So you go into, you've got your character sheet, the equipment, your stats and so on, you're a heroic adventure going into dungeons, and each dungeon grid is laid out essentially like a Minesweeper grid. And it's not just mines, there's all sorts of monsters are hidden there, there's traps, there's cave-ins, or just empty tiles, and you tap on the tiles to reveal them. As you do so, you're building up a kind of power. You get 1 point of energy each time you reveal a tile, and you can use that energy to power special abilities and so on. Then there's various different sorts of monsters get revealed, and they don't immediately jump on you, some of them do. But you then tap on them to fight them, and it's again a simple, straightforward, is my number bigger than your number? Yes, then I'll win, that sort of thing. Your various character sheet stats and abilities and items you pick up can be used to help with those as well. And it's a really satisfying game. It's just, essentially Minesweeper, but Puzzle Questified, if you see what I mean. Where Puzzle Quest is to Bejeweled, what this thing is to Minesweeper, And it's, again, I've seen when you die, up comes a full screen ad. Which is a pain in the arse.
Don't
die. Never die, there you go. I don't know. I think you can pay real money to unlock. Again, it's got that same thing as Caves, where you've got the persistent upgrade progression thing going on, and I think you can pay money to buy extra things in there if you want. But the basic game is surprisingly satisfying. It's surprisingly catchy. It's a simple thing. You're just revealing tiles, and you've got like beacons you can click on and use the power of those to tell you what's in the surrounding tiles. So it's not quite the logic puzzle that Minesweeper itself is. A good game of Minesweeper, you should be able to work out where they all are by the numbers of surrounding ones and all that. You don't get anything like that. So it becomes a bit more random as to what you're clicking on. But then you've got more abilities and skills to deal with what things that you reveal anyway, and that's a very good thing that lasts a good 5-10 minute bouts and keep going with that. And it's that persistent saving the points and buying an upgrade and then trying again thing that keeps me interested in those, which is, I suppose, the design genius there, rather than it's just another go at a means nothing game of roguelike type thing, net hack or whatever. So surprising. Four mobile phone games that I quite like and didn't uninstall in a rage straight away.
And none of them lock the ability to play behind paying money.
Not that I've seen. No, there's you can pay for enhancements or there's adverts, which are generally fairly unobtrusive. I think you're starting to see. Is it that mobile phone gamers are just not putting up with that crap anymore, because it seems to be less of that about, or perhaps I'm just hitting the right sorts of games.
You're hitting the right sort of games. If you look, there's still the pay-to-play ones, with the timers and the ticking up.
Well, I don't object to paying people for the work they've done.
Oh, but it's the ones where if you want to pay more than X amount per day, you have to pay.
I like the ones where you get to try the game out before you decide if you want to pay for it or not, rather than the ones where you have to pay a load of money to decide if it's any good. That sort of arrangement.
I quite like the model where you get the first couple of bits of it for free, and then if you like it, you pay to unlock the rest.
Yeah,
it was quite big in the 90s.
Shareware. Yeah. Shareware never really went away. Yeah.
Although how many people actually got chapters 2 and 3 of Doom as opposed to just one? I did. Yeah. I bought them about 4.
It genuinely worked, because chapter
7
1
or 8 times.
Chapter 1 of Doom was good enough to want to find out what the hell was going on, what the rest of it was about. So
towards the end it was a little bit stretching.
But there's 2 guns you couldn't get in the first chapter. The plasma cannon and the BFG, weren't there?
I always liked the plasma gun. That was brilliant.
BFG was not terribly practical, to be honest.
No, it was a bit of a one-shot thing.
Didn't it damage you as well? I can't remember.
No, not in that one. Yeah.
So there we go. Anyway, so there's a couple of Android games to look for. That might do you well if you're bored and waiting for a train. So I'm done.
Yes, we've done an hour, so I guess that'll do.
We've done our quota.
We've done our quota. We can go back to our normal mundane
community
lives,
service.
and I can save the Minecraft I was going to talk about for next time.
Okay.
If you go along to howtomurdertime.com, you can see all our previous episodes, and you can see how suspiciously high to the magic number 200 we're getting on episodes. Although I will point out that it's the suspiciously fake 200.
That's quite an arbitrary 200, isn't it? We stopped and started a few times.
No, going on the How to Murder Time, we're about to the 200th episode.
Didn't you just start the numbering at like 90 odd something anyway? No. Just on a whim.
No, I was tempted. But no, with Van Hemlock 1 and all the new shows, it's 300, 400.
We should probably skip episode 200 until we can work out some extravaganza to do properly.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know what to do. I might just walk away and give up. You can go onto YouTube where you can catch random videos we do, including our Minecraft series, which is drawing to a...
some kind of resolution.
Yeah. I was going to say a glorious resolution, but I'm not entirely sure anyone's covered in glory in that series. And you can also catch the video bits of this show, or the full-length ones if I put that out.
I went up a mountain.
And, good point, yes, all of How to Murder Feet, which is Tim walking and getting far more hits
and
than...
How to Murder Dice, which is you painting and modelling stuff. That's entirely different places.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, or you can go along to How to Murder Dice, which is me talking about 40k and other stuff. I might be talking about cardboard box.
You've definitely got to cross-pollinate. No one's going to find it otherwise.
No, people are. Yeah, apparently. Weirdly. Yes, I'm talking about laser cut inserts for really useful boxes in my next one.
Sounds fascinating.
It is. It's really good. And how you can turn into a storage solution. And also you can join us next time when we'll be talking about more games we've played, and I might talk about the Minecraft I was going to talk about. But yeah.
Oh.
So,
see you next time.
Goodbye.